Hi, guys. What a crazy day. I feel like it's been a crazy week with me being sick at the beginning of the week and then having the spiritual healer yesterday and the massage. I did not have any dreams or anything last night. Um, so I can't even tell you really how it went. Um, I'm and I'm waiting on the notes um, uh, that she's supposed to send me. So maybe I need to message her as well, tell her that I didn't feel anything. Nothing's been really weird. My spine was very painful this morning. Up into my head, I had a little bit of a headache, and my lower spine was hurting a little bit yesterday, but I think that was more from the massage than it was from the spiritual healing therapy. Um, yeah, she did mention some things I hadn't mentioned to her, something about an episode of drowning or something, which is quite funny because what I didn't tell her, because we never went into depth over what some of these things were, I only told her about the rainbow and my best friend dying when I was 6 because she said she could see that I was very protective of children. I'm very aware of other people around them, apparently, especially men. But like, I'm very protective of children, and because I'm working in that profession as well, like, how did that come about? And so I told her about my best friend Sarah, who died when I was 6, who I felt because a man lived with us who we shouldn't have had live with us, who was abusing my mom physically and sexually, tied underwear to my face when I was wetting my face because I had a really bad a kidney and bladder infection. But before we discovered that it was like bad enough that I was hospitalized for a month, yeah, he was doing this to me. And I didn't get to see my friend as she went into surgery, and I was like, my mom had a child already, and she could her mom could only have her, so I wanted to switch places with her. And from then on, I always kind of said to myself that it was, I guess I kind of blamed myself as a 6-year-old as well, and had always said that if I was there, it wouldn't have happened. So um, yeah, so I did tell her that after she asked me about the children stuff. And she said she noticed some significance around the rainbows. She's saying all this stuff in tongues, and then she spills out these words like rainbow and drowning. Um, and a rainbow, I said, Noah's Ark is my favorite story, and it's because the rainbow to me um, symbolizes hope and a promise that God will always be there with you and never leave you. Um, that's what it means for me personally. That's what it's always mean, and that's why it's my favorite Bible story. And it's actually quite funny because I went on a missions trip when I was like, I don't even know how old we were. We were like 18 or 19, or maybe even younger. Maybe it was 17 or 18. Anyways, up north in Canada, and my friend and I billeted with this family, and this family? No, I think one of the places was a family, another place was just an old woman who was quite grouchy, if I remember correctly. Anyways, she wanted me to do, or we were asked to do our mission statements, or like testimonies or whatever, and pick out like something that represents us to kind of start it. And I always do kind of Hebrews 11:1 as well, which is like what your faith stands on. Because that, I wish I could quote it, but right now I cannot. But Hebrews 11:1, all of Hebrews I love, but Hebrews 11 is specific about faith. But I kind of said how my favorite story in the Bible is Noah's Ark, and she had said to me, well, Noah's Ark is like a child's favorite Bible. It shouldn't be yours. You're too old for that kind of deal. And I was like, but I love it because, Noah had to believe, and nobody else believed Noah, and he took his family and hid them away in an ark, and exactly what he said was going to happen for 90 days, it rained, and it poured, and the rest of the place was completely wiped out, and God kept him safe of all the people, and he said that he was going to do that, and then he made this beautiful rainbow in the sky, and he let out a few birds, and the last bird he let out, Noah, was a dove, and the dove returned with a piece of a twig or a fern or something in his mouth, whereas the other 2 times he had went out, he had not returned with anything, saying that there was no dry land. And then this last time there was dry land, and God made a rainbow as well. And it's such a beautiful story of hope and the promise that he says he will never flood the earth ever again, but it also reminds me that he's always there, and it's a promise of that. So I kind of told her that too. But the drowning thing is interesting because I didn't say anything to her, and when I was little, I would swear to you till I was black and blue that I had almost drowned, and my mom's boyfriend saved me. And I believe this so much that I would have night terrors. Like, I'm talking absolute night terrors for absolute years, that my bed was the boat and the carpet was the water, and I would keep my mom up for ages. Now, do I remember doing this? Absolutely not. But I've been told it. I think I may vaguely remember as I got older, because it did span across many years. And I do remember being little and jumping on my bed from the couch. But I also think there was a movie about monsters that lived under your bed in the 80s. And so that movie did not help. And I really liked that movie because a kid went under and like got to hang out with all the monsters, and they weren't really all that scary, but I tried to pretend they were scary. And yeah, there was just something I remember jumping onto my bed. Anyways, she said a lot of things. She said something about like working with children who are in trauma, and to think about that, she's saying how I'm I'm aware with guys that work with kids, which is interesting because I am kind of aware of it, but I've only got one male on staff to actually know that, and I probably didn't trust him as much at first, but now I trust him fine. Yeah, it's interesting. So I don't really know what all she said, but I had a horrible thing just happen to me today. I did have pigs in a blanket and hash browns, so I'm looking like I'm healthy with my broccoli, peas, and green beans here, but I'm going to be truthful and tell you that I did have the other stuff. And I was supposed to go out, but I chose too late to go out, and so everybody had carpooled into town already, and there's no trains for me to even train into town. So I'm just staying at home. Anyways, this morning, my mom messaged me and was all in a dinner. Apparently had a panic attack because they were trying to evict her. And we were like, what the heck is going on? Finally got a hold of someone. They said Mom's rent wasn't paid. And I was like, what are you talking about? I can see Mom's rent paid. And I looked on it this morning, and then I was like, oh, maybe it's September? September looks weird. And I was like, oh no, it's there. September was not there. I don't know how whatsoever. In 2 years, I have paid my mom's payments. I've paid her rent. I pay her power. I pay her phone bill. I pay like all the stuff that comes out automatically. Let me rephrase that. I don't pay it. I was giving her money, but since her boyfriend moved back in, I'm not giving her money anymore. And it's just the money that she gets from her income. And I just divvy it out. Okay, so I don't give her any money anymore. I just divvy it out. And then put some in savings for her, which has given her a nice little nest egg. However, and I feel so awful about this because one, I gave my mom a panic attack, and my brother was really upset. It was not needed. And I was 100% in the wrong, so hopefully my mom will forgive me. She will. She loves me. She knows, obviously, I wouldn't mean anything by it, but for some reason, the only thing I can think of is, like, I moved in October. So whether or not I don't even know. I feel so bad, but, and why it took them 4 months to tell us that she hadn't paid, and they didn't even give her a friendly reminder. They literally said to her, you've got 11 days to get out, to pay or get out. Like, that's all they said. And they delivered this. They just put it on her door. They didn't even, like, talk to her or anything, which is just absolutely ridiculous to me. Because my mom's been there for over 10 years. At least 10 years, if not like 15. So, and she's never been late or anything. So yeah, so I was really annoyed, but I feel really bad. And obviously I can't talk to my mom until tomorrow, but like I have to go to her and my brother with my leg between my tail between my legs. And like, I just apologize profusely. I have remedied it. It is now paid. They will get it first thing in the morning when they wake up. They will see that the payment's been made by my mom. But holy smokes, I don't know how I did something like that at all. Actually, I wasn't moving. It was this September. It was September 2023. So I have no idea how I misplaced a payment because I've never done it before. I always pay it early. If not, I either pay it on time or I pay it a little bit early if I'm busy. So I honestly don't know how in the world that happens. But from now I'm going to get a screenshot to my mom so she knows that it's been paid because I feel so bad. Anyways, my friend had her baby today. Yay! 38 weeks. 6 pounds 2 or something. His blood sugar is a little bit low. So, and she had a horrible, she ended up having a C-section. What should have took 15 minutes took 3 hours. Because apparently she had a hole in her bladder, but it wasn't from them. It was like a previous thing. Very weird. Don't even know what that is. So now she has to like get a catheter for a couple weeks. Ugh, it's awful. Awful, awful, awful. She keeps telling me don't do it. I had the bank get a hold of me today. So I'm working through getting the loan that I want. So we'll see what happens there. They just tried to come back to me and tell me that I hadn't closed an account somewhere, and I can't remember even having that account. But anyways, I got a hold of them, and they told me that I did close the account in October last year. No. Last year was 2023. October 2022, I closed an account. But then I have a refund, and I was like, what the? How do I find out what my refund is? And how do I even log into my account to get my refund? Because I don't know what my card number was. I closed that account. So that's weird that I have a refund. So I don't understand that. And the bank said something about $1,000. So I don't even know how I would have overpaid by $1,000. That would have been their mistake, the bank's mistake, because they're the ones that paid it and closed it for me. So that would be amazing if that came in, because I owe my mom money for my trip home. So that would go on that, obviously. But then I had Southern Cross get a hold of me, who I used to get my insurance through. And I apparently got insurance through them in 2017, which would have been for my trip home. And apparently I have a refund of $63 with them. So I didn't give them any of my information. I've told them to call me because I don't understand it. And I don't want to give information through email like that either. So, could be a scam. But we'll see. I will keep you posted. Yeah, yesterday I felt really low, but today I am feeling a lot better. So, yeah, which is why I was going to go out with my friends, but it didn't happen, and that is okay, because now I'm going to watch Grey's Anatomy and just chill out. Anyways, have a good evening. Have a good weekend, because it is Friday, January 12th. Oh, I did have one thing happen yesterday. I know, I think I told you guys about my nephew and my niece calling and saying they wish that I was coming to the party this weekend. So it's really weird to know that everyone's together and I'm not, and I hate missing my nephew's girlfriend and him perform. But it is what it is. So they'll send me some photos. So anyways, that's my update. Have a good evening.